SR good. SR real good. Hey, wait. What's going on here? Where's the ignition? Funny enough, it's over here now. Nice. So now, the problem is, that column cover has to go. But unfortunately, with that column cover gone, we have this ugly exposed column. You can see it out here, you can see it on here. It's just really an eyesore. But we have a really easy solution, just like with when we're doing the engine bay work. I had that nice turbo inlet. I had an expensive turbo, did not want it to get damaged, so I 3D printed my own super suction intake box out of carbon fiber impregnated nylon. For that project, we used some 3D Tech nylon. They saw my last videos and they were like, that's awesome. We would like to sponsor your next project. So they sent over some carbon fiber impregnated ASA. What ASA is, it's another polymer kind of like ABS plastic, but with better UV protection. And because the column is going to get hit by some sunlight from everywhere, ASA was the right choice. So I'd like to thank 3DX Tech for sponsoring that spool of filament. Now, all we gotta do is solve this problem with 3D printing. Additive manufacturing is so awesome. It's currently the industrial revolution we're in. Printing steel, printing titanium, all kind of different polymers. It's just so cool. Best part is, majority of this technology is available to regular people like you and I. Let's hop over to the computer. Let's grab these parts and my trusty calipers, and let's 3D model a nice column cover to hide that ugly eyesore. It looks really nice. Update on the whole Datsun steering column project. Finally regained some dopamine to be interested in this project again. We ended with making just a shell for the bottom of the column and the top. There were no inside pieces like the switch mount and the standoffs to bolt the two clamshells together. This is the top part comes in where it snakes under the dash. You can see all here is filled in, got a nice bevel. I've got some index points on all four corners. We got the standoffs. This will be the female side that I will put some of these nutserts in. The bottom half, which we have our recessed screw holes, just like the OEM one. We have some indexers to index the top to the bottom clamshell. Mounting point here for our hazard. There's a factory relief. Once through all this problem, just to delete this. And what we're going to use to do a test print is this awesome violet pearl that 3D Tech sponsored for this project. We are going to finally do it in carbon fiber reinforced ASA in black, but this is like 3 times the cost of the violet pearl PLA. So we're just going ahead, make the test prints out of this guy, and then offer it up to the car and see how it looks. He just sent me a nice looking PLA, and it was his choice to send this out. Already got this extruded. Go in here. All right, so I sent the file to the printer. There it is. Nice print. So the printer is doing its startup sequence. You can see it's doing its 4-corner probe. While it's doing that, take some time to thank 3D Tech again for sponsoring the filament. I do have an affiliate link, so if you guys are into printing and you like really good high quality filaments, work to spec. You remember I did my carbon fiber intake box with their filament where other brands failed. Take a look, link in bio at my sponsors section. Please check them out. Print is well on its way now. It's a really nice looking purple. Let's see how this works out or if it doesn't work out. After a few hours, it's done. It looks really nice. Took out the Haltech 1500 and we're put in, for no really good reason, an R3. With that, we're testing out some couple different OEM modules for PWM control. We're getting rid of the relays for the fans, and we're going to PWM control the pumps in the back. But that's a different video. Look that up. I'll probably have it in the description if it's out. We are here today to discuss the column covers. Went ahead and did a lot of fine details off stream. We got all the inside connectors. We got the switch holder, we got some indexers. I put in some heat inserts on this one, just kind of like to match the OEM version. Today I am going to try and attempt and mount them in the car and see how good my caliper and ruler work is and 3D modeling skills. This is the first attempt, this is the first draft print. Hopefully there's some minor changes and not really some big edits I need to do. Okay, I'm tickled pink by this. Just look at it. This is the first draft, first print. Everything was done by a caliper and a ruler. There was no 3D scans or anything like that. I basically measured the OEM stuff and just had at it. Look at that first draft. That looks freaking great. That fits really nice. Let's check on the other side. Normal, ugly, bare column. Like I say, this is cheaper PLA. I will print carbon fiber, nylon, ASA after for the final production stuff. I know the bolts there, I need to close that up. But it's just a concept and it works great. There's 2 things I need to do. I forget to put in the design at the bottom part. There's these 2 holes right here. You can see from the inside. those two holes actually screw into the cluster, the ring for the indicator. That kind of holds it in place. So I just got to model this. I may just model it up and probably ship it to Aaron, since it's all 1.5 one way, and he may just try that one piece. Once that's verified, I will go ahead and print it in its final form and we'll check it out. But really happy with the progress. Once again, I'm tickled pink by just measuring and drafting this design. So up here back at Aaron's shop, got this thing running. It's on the new R3. So remember, we did the R3 conversion. Also came in to test version 2 off the column. Version 2 is tighter to the dash. I also put these locating holes and a couple ribs on the inside. That dash is solid and not going anywhere. Some SR noise with some 270 cams. It's looking good. Everything is fitting really well. So now it's time to actually open up that expensive carbon fiber ASA that we got from 3D Tech and check it out. And this is ASA, which is a polymer that's similar to ABS, but it's more UV resistant, and it has the carbon fiber strands in it. Has a really nice surface finish too. The carbon fiber strands adds a really cool effect to it. A nice little satin look. It's going to be really nice. One of the reasons I really enjoy using 3D Tech's filament is they have their technical data sheet. And on the technical data sheet, they give you the specs of the plastic polymer that you could put in your slicer with some recommended print settings. So you could start with those things and work your way up, especially if it's a new polymer you're using with your printer. So I'm going to have to load this up and try out a couple test prints and fine-tune this plastic before I actually spit out the final version of the column cover. Another thing is, because it is carbon fiber impregnated, you know what I'm talking about. Because it has the carbon fiber strands, it is abrasive. So the brass nozzles that's normally on these printers, it will wear away. Thankfully, I have a hardened nozzle on my Voron, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, my guys, here it is. Here is the final print in carbon fiber ASA. It's really nice. It was tricky, I will say. With a thin shell like this, it was tricky. You would see in the video where I started to print vertically, and I was having some of these internal parts lifting, because with ASA and ABS, as it cools, it tends to want to curl. That created a huge issue. I also had some layer adhesion problem where the part would snap. It was just so thin, the temperatures were off, the layers just weren't adhesion. The layers just weren't really, let's move beyond that word. You know what I'm trying to say. So I played around the orientation of a positive 30. That way, when it prints, it has more surface area, more lines for the layer adhesion. The problem with that too, I was still running in with the internal geometry lifting and curling. So then I decided, let's try a negative 30. So we started printing like this, and as it printed, I got a number of things. I was able to get the bigger surface area in each layer for the better adhesion, and also these internal geometry stacked and built off of each other, so it's like a ledge, its own ledge. So I didn't need to run supports. It allowed me to print the internal geometry really nice, really clean, without having any deformations. It was very interesting working with this. I will say that while you are adjusting your print, one thing I've learned is if you're using a fiber impregnated filament, every time you change the temperature, you need to change the actual, well, you need to calibrate the flow. Especially with this carbon fiber, it was very tricky to print. It was tricky. Had a decent amount of failed prints. But overall, it was a very rewarding project. I did learn a lot with it. Challenging myself with actually the 3D modeling too. So I really had an awesome time with this one. Let's go ahead and put our hazard switch in here. Okay, I will say, that looks really sick. The purple was cool. It stood out a little bit. I know a couple of you guys like the purple, but dang, seeing it in the black, that is sick. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this project? Did you also have a need to relocate your ignition switch away from the window? Do you also feel the same way about that, not liking it to face the window and stuff? This is one of the things, like I said, just bugged me, and I really wanted to just change it. This column cover just finishes that, you know. Now we need to get the locator screws. These are screws of the whole project that worried me the most. These go directly into the indicator stalk ring. I was racking my brain forever on how I could locate these, and it just came up with a simple ruler method. Did a big circle to it, and it just lined up perfectly the first try. I was so happy about that. And there she is. That is so nice, man. It is solid, especially with those two locator pieces in. It's very solid. It looks just beautiful. It looks so sick. Man. Just look at it. Technologia. That meme. That was going kind of crazy recently. Look at that stuff. That's so awesome. Switch is strong there, that's strong there. The console is in there, man. It's awesome. Now, I may probably have to put some foam in between. It may have some vibration and stuff. We got raw plastic against this. The old one was raw plastic too, so we don't know. But this is pretty cool. So let me know in the comments what you think about this project. It took a little while. I didn't have the car for a bit. We were doing a bunch of changes. So it happened over a long period of time. But super rewarding, not looking at this ugly steering column anymore. This is sick. It's so cool. It is so cool. The finish is really nice. The looks. Got the little third pedal media there. I put 3 p.m. MFG ASO last time. The little hazard symbol. Oh, I'm so happy with this project. There was some problems with tuning and stuff, but just so happy with this project overall. Thank you all for following on this journey. Hopefully you enjoyed viewing the video. If you're this far into the video, you guys are real OGs. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Subscriptions do help. The content is free to you guys, but it costs us a lot to make in time, money, resources, equipment, and stuff. So please take the time and sub. It helps the channel a lot. I know sometimes we start talking about this and everybody just turns off. But if you do like the content and you have been watching more than 3 videos, I would say, I think sufficient to say you really love the content that I'm producing out there. So please go ahead, help me out, help the channel, and let's get the sub counts going. And in saying that, I'm begging for subs. I will say thank you. I think that's it for this video. And if you subscribe, you'll know when I put out more videos. We have a lot to do with this car. We have a lot to do with the other vehicles. New stuff coming in, new stuff coming out, parts changing. And until next time, thank you for watching. You guys have a good one.